In, brother. Kick it in.
Hey,
Kick it in.
this is what.
Oh wait, recording has started. My bad. I thought we were offline still. Hi, Jason. How are you? How are you feeling?
Good. I have a 3-year-old, so I'm losing the battle of this thing. But
Don't even try to fight it. Just go with it.
How are you doing?
I have a 5-year-old, and I locked myself in the attic. So.
Got it. Yeah, we'll both see.
Yeah, we'll see. So everyone who's on the bottom is logged in. They can hear us.
Yes, exactly.
And you're talk to us like that.
Your meeting chat up as well. There.
Trees.
Hello, can you hear me?
There you go. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We're all on. So welcome. I guess to start it off. Welcome to all of the attendees who are here watching, listening. I see it's over 40 of you here. We are so grateful that you're joining us today. Also, I'm excited. I have had the privilege, my name is Jason Wiley, and I've had the privilege of working with both of these women in the music industry. I have learned a lot from both of them. They are not only amazing executives in music, they are amazing businesswomen and also people. I mean, most importantly in today's world, knowing amazing people is really important to really kind of help you throughout this. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Latrice Burnett, who is currently the GM and EVP of Island Records.
Hi guys, hi everyone. Thanks for having me.
Second, I'd like to introduce you to Marcia St. Hubert. She is the SVP of Marketing at Atlantic Records.
Hi, everyone.
So first, before we even begin, I mean, the world is a little different. How are you both doing during this time?
I think it's a very difficult time for people around the world, and I don't think we ever thought we would see a day where we were not able or are not able to see our loved ones and just sort of be stuck inside, dealing with the shelter in place and not being able to to go out into the world or just to even go to work on a daily basis or just do the things that we're kind of just used to in everyday life. I think a lot of those things we may have taken for granted. So for me, every morning, what I try to do is just wake up and obviously think about the things that I'm grateful for and the things that I'm grateful and thankful to have, which is like obviously good health. I've had a couple of friends and some distant family members that have been affected by the virus. So thankfully, I'm happy to have good health, happy to have a roof over my head, I'm happy to have a job, I'm happy to have eat. So I think every morning I just wake up with a sense of gratitude around those things. And then it's been quite interesting in terms of learning how to work on a day-to-day basis from home and how to find work-life balance. So I'm a conscious effort to do all of the things that I need to do, whether that's like laundry or getting out for a walk. Or going to the supermarket and actually making sure I take like precautionary measures, also cooking and like just the things that on a day-to-day, I would do in regular everyday life. Is that, and then also making time to speak with friends and family more often to check on people and see how they're doing and have some support system to vote. That's kind of how I do.
Great. I mean, I appreciate the waking up and what you're grateful for. That is really important, especially in today's world. I definitely try to practice that myself. I think Marcia's having a little technical difficulty, so we'll give her a second to come back.
Yes, we can hear you.
I just can't see you. While I'm working on that, though, all things considered, like Latrice said, I'm well, I'm in good health, I'm in good spirits, my family is healthy. Those are the things that right now really are the most important. And sometimes sometimes we take that for, I think that before these moments, into these kinds of moments, we didn't realize how important those basic things were, even though we were told those things. Now it's really real. So for me, I'm just, happy to be healthy, happy to be working, happy to have of friends and family, even if they're at a distance. I know that they're there. And I think that, the thing that is really the difference for me is doing this at home with a family. I'm working from home. My partner's working from home. My child is homeschooling. He's 5 years old. So whatever homeschool means for a 5-year-old, that means homeschool for mom and dad. So in a weird way, I'm thankful to have that because it doesn't give me the idle time mentally to be thinking about shit that will make me crazy. So I'm thankful that I have that to keep me sane every day.
That's amazing. I love the way you both are looking at how you're dealing with these difficulties at this time. It seems like a really positive spirit. And in tune with that, how has this impact affected your business, right? You both work at labels, and I'm sure music is seeing a whole new landscape. What is that? Can you kind of dive into that for our attendees?
On my end, I'm so sorry. On my end, I think that in the beginning of this process, a lot of the time, like we were already working on things. We're working on putting out products. We're working. Ooh, did we lose Latrice?
I think we did.
Oh man. And I can't get my camera to face me, but I'll keep going. I think that, in the beginning, I think it was a transition going from office to working from home. It was a transition of the most basic things like how to communicate, how to talk to people, what's the best way to keep your meetings moving. All of those things was such a transition. So I think those first like 3 or 4 weeks were spent on, hey, can you hear me? Can you see me? Trying to get artists onto certain platforms so that they can hear and see us. And trying to deliver the things that we were already working on. But now as we're entering, for us in our company, we're entering week 10, we have really become really fluid in that communicating online space. So now we're really diving into the creative part of the conversation, where it's, some places are open, some places are not. The laws of this place versus that place, what can do, what can't. So now we're diving into, it's literally every time we think, okay, we have a solution, something changes. So like as a company, we're continuing to push ourselves for, creative solutions that won't only get us through like the immediate time, but also the months that are to come. Because what people fail to understand is, even if these cities were to quote unquote open back up, which I'm sure they will, a lot of the things that we need and the accesses that we need and the, approvals and things to be in large spaces with large numbers of people that we need aren't going to be here for quite some time. So the tools that we're going to need to be moving forward still need to be developing now, even as, these cities and states start to open up around the country.
Latrice, are you back with us? Oh, I think we lost Latrice again. That makes sense. Have you found any new tools that you weren't using before that have become effective, or that you're looking into that you can share with? Hey, we see you.
Yes, this is my new tool. Got it. New tools. I mean, Microsoft Teams is a friend. It's a friend.
Yeah.
I've never used Zoom before this. I never used House Party. Though House Party is more of a personal place for me and my friends to have a good time. But as far as business is concerned, Microsoft Teams has really become the place where, we communicate, and even like being able to show things on the screen. You can pull up your screen, you can actually share creative now. You're not sitting there like, hey, can you see this piece of art type of a thing. I
Right.
feel like that's been the lifesaver that we needed to get through this moment. I don't really use Zoom. We do use Zoom as a family for homeschool, but as far as business is concerned, it's Teams all day. And that's been, and I used to be the girl, when I worked in the office, it was, oh, I need this printed out. I need this piece of paper. I need this, I need that. 10 weeks in, I've officially transitioned into laptop, phone, pen, charger, notebook. That's it. And I'm all good to go.
Hmm. Latrice, are you good?
Yes, I'm good.
There you go.
Yeah, you sound good. What about you? I'm not sure if you heard the first question that kind of led us here is into how has this pandemic, this virus kind of affected your business? How is Island changed? What are you guys doing now? What's kind of going on in your world?
Well, I think overall the business has changed for everyone, and I think it's been a season of trying to figure out more creative ideas and really dipping into your creative bag to actually see what can be done from a marketing perspective, what can be pulled together. And I think it's about tasking the whole company with just different ways of doing things and adapting. So whether we're looking at constantly industry trends and changes and seeing what's working and what's not working. It's looking at our marketing spend and just kind of the things that we're doing that are really moving the needle versus not. And content is a big thing for us. I think content's always been king, but it's essentially a valuable now in this day and age because the art can't be and about like they typically would. And that goes from everything from shooting videos to content to being on stages, on tour, on shows. So it's about how we get creative. And I think we've seen a lot of artists. I think there are some that get it more than others, and we've seen a lot of artists throughout the industry who have created like new sort of models and shows and awareness. And it's been cool to see just how creative people can get. But I think for us, it's just been about figuring out what we can do differently, how we work together as a team. And like Marsha said, utilize all of the apps that have now become our best friends. I wasn't doing more stuff. I would probably use FaceTime, but now it's just sort of changed the game. Like this is our, dare I say, new normal.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this Microsoft Teams has been a big friend. Now, I never used Teams, Zoom, House Party, none of that before this. Now I'm all on this, just like you. I want to make this interactive, so I'm gonna go to a student question. Gabrielle Stewart, shout out HU. Had a question for you guys. How do you recommend that artists brand and market themselves, especially at this time, to build a following?
I mean, especially right now, it's all about social media. Not that social media wasn't important and didn't have its, a fair share before, but I think now that is like the main space. But I think it's also important to be creative and come up with your own creatives and come up with your own ideas because it's like, having visual aspect to every conversation, whether it's what the photo is going to look like, what the video is going to look like. And it's sometimes, as I think you're seeing now, it doesn't always have to be, a huge budget attached to certain things. If it's good and people can connect to it, they're going to go with it. Granted, it's Drake, right? It's fine. His home looks like, Lord knows, something that most people will never see in their lifetime. But the idea is super simple and could have been done anywhere, from your basement to your college dorm room. So and then continuing to do it. It gets hard when you post content, you post music, you post links, and you don't feel like you see your numbers growing, or you don't feel like people are sharing it, or you don't feel like it's going anywhere. You're just like, yo, is anyone on the other side to hear it or see it? You have to trust that someone is there. If this because you never know what that moment is, or what that piece of content is, or what that piece of creative is, that's change the trajectory for you. So once you decide this is the thing that you're gonna do, you just have to keep at it. It's really, really hard, but if this is what you want to do, it's going to be hard no matter if you're just got on, or this is your 10th album and you still feel that kind of pressure within yourself?
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's a time for like artists. We always say this, like obviously labels invest so much, but I think it's a time for the artists to invest in themselves, and this is kind of when you really to see, the level of dedication and how married to the craft they are in terms of music, the release strategy, planning. So it's important for artists to invest in themselves and to whether it's buying a camera or ordering a light or just anything because again these are the circumstances that we're in. No one can do anything about it, so it's just like how you to that, and it just can't always be the label being a lot of that comes from
And use the people around you, because the next question is going to be, well, I don't have a team. Yes, you do. You have a best friend, you have a cousin, you have people around you. It could be your brother, it could be your sister, it could be your mom, it could be your next door neighbor. You have to look out there and see like who are your fans, who want to support you, who want to help you work. There's somebody near you, and if there isn't someone near you, there are hundreds and thousands of people on the internet. Just like for every artist, right? Because the word artist, I'm gonna go with recording artist. For every recording artist, there are different types of artists in their own space that want to be just as creative. They just need a vessel. There are directors, there are kids with cameras, there are kids who just have a laptop and know how to edit. There are people who know how to take photos. There are people who know how to do graphic design. They're learning and they're trying and they're pushing. So even going onto your social media platforms to help connect you and reach out to other talent that you guys could come together wherever you are in the world to hopefully create some dope stuff that you really like and you can push into the universe together.
That's a good point. Like your support system, your community, using them to make sure to help yourself as you move through the world. I want to ask you, how have you gotten to the places that you are now? You're very successful. You're very accomplished. It must have been an easy road, right?
Sure. Because being a black female in America is super easy.
that's not an easy road, and it definitely has not been an easy road. There have been many trials and tribulations, moments where you felt like you wanted to give up. Marsha and I worked together for many years, and there's lots of memories and things that we've gone through while we work together and even separately. And some of the struggles are the same, I think, just as Black women. Because I think it's a couple of things, like you're in a position, you're in an industry that is clearly very male oriented and male dominated, and when you have women like myself and Marsha who are very outspoken, who are very vocal, who have strong beliefs and a moral compass, sometimes that doesn't fare well, and you have to go through things just to get your point across or to be the voice in the room. And sometimes you have to, go even a step further to present information or back up your beliefs or why you think things be happening a certain way. But I think as long as you do the work, nothing else matters. And politics obviously plays a part in everything that we do, and just business acumen in general. I think it's important to stand up for what you're in and stand up for yourself, believe in yourself. Don't let anyone tell you no. If someone tells you no, I think there's always a way to figure out a different way to do things or a way to approach things, and just to be tenacious and never to give up. So definitely not an easy road. Years and years and years of blood, sweat, and tears, but happy to say it paid off.
And to everything that I agree with everything Latrice said, and the only thing I want to add to that point is, you're gonna have to do all of those things, but more important, like on top of that, you have to ask for it. If you think that you're going to sit in your office or sit in your seat or sit at home and think someone's gonna call you and say, hey, I would like to offer you, you're gonna be sitting waiting for a long time. I think that, when opportunities come, or even when you don't see the opportunity, making it clear that this is something that you would like to do, this is something that you are interested in, how can I help, how can I participate, even if, right now, it may not be available right now, making sure that you're letting people know that you want to participate in something, that you want to be in this thing, you want to learn this thing, you want to grow in this space. If you want a promotion and they're like, well, there's no place for promotion right now, okay, perfect. Can you let me know the things that I need to work towards so that when that opportunity does come, I would like to be at the head of that conversation. Never think that you're just going to sit there and someone's going to be like, hey, I see you've been here for the longest time, so you deserve. That's not how it works. Most of the time, I had to ask, Latrice had to ask, Joy had to ask. We not had to, and will continue to. It doesn't come to you. You have to go and like talk about these things with people.
That's very important. You have to ask for what you want. And I think Sydney Grady, who didn't give their school, hey, as you're sending the questions across, make sure you shout out your school. We want to give you all the love here. We appreciate you going through what you're going through and want to give you as much props as possible. So give me your school as well when you give your question. She asked a great question because you talked about asking your superiors and asking people in power about opportunities to move forward. But she asked, can you all give us examples of a time where you networked across instead of trying to network up and it worked in your favor?
We do it to this day. Like, if you know your friend works somewhere, you call them and you ask them. Like, it's literally like that simple. It could be, I have a record that has Buju on it. Everyone is saying there's no way Buju's gonna clear it. Latrice doesn't work in A&R, but Latrice works at Island. Latrice knows Buju. Latrice, this is what's happening. Could you do me a favor? Could you see about this? And we talk it out. Sometimes it'll happen, it won't happen, but you're gonna make that call. Like if you like literally like that as you grow, that's why you talk to those people, because as you grow, those people will tend to grow with you. Even if they don't, that doesn't mean that, there may not be a resource in the past. Like, I reached out to my peers across the board to help with, if they did something that I thought was great, hey, who directed that video? Hey, how much did you pay for something? Because I want to see if we can even afford it. What was it like working at this studio? Do you know a place in Miami that someone can do A, B, C, and D? Who was the makeup artist on that? Do you know the person who did this? Have you seen that? It's literally like, because people don't, like, some people don't want to ask other people, but there's no ego in asking. There's no ego in sharing. Like, we all grow as long as everybody else grows. Everyone's like, yo, who did the new Missy video? Oh, this is the person who did it. So we continue to, like, even like an artist can say to me, Marsha, yo, I want to get a verse from such and such. Oh, I don't know the artist, but I know the person who works with the artist. Let me tell you, oh, my homeboy who I've known for 15 years, Gene Nelson, manages the artist. Gene, can you help this person out? It's literally big things to small things. We just usually reach out to one another because it's just easier to call your own people to get things done.
Absolutely. Like, I think that saying your network is your net worth, like, is very true, because just constantly being able to reach in a bag of contacts and, reach out to people for things. Like Marsha and I do that all the time, people that we both work with, where we constantly or ask various things. And I think you should never feel embarrassed to ask a question. It's a dumb question. You should never feel like you hesitant to reach out to someone. So don't let fear stop you from help you get ahead. It's really not worth asking the question. Okay with getting told no, and then maybe have to try to figure out if at least you wake up every morning like, okay, well, ask like that.
Are you having a hard time hearing Latrice? I just want to, is it my connection or?
No, it's breaking up on my end as well.
Latrice, you were kind of breaking up there. And what you said was really important for them to hear. Can you hear that? Can you say that just one more time, especially like connecting with?
Yeah, I was just saying the saying your network is true. I think it's very important to stay in touch with people that you've worked with throughout the years. And like Marsha said, as people grow and as people elevate
okay, cool. All right.
industry, you know, you can constantly reach into your bag of contacts and hit people up for various things, and never be afraid to ask. I think because at least you can live with yourself, you know, and just knowing that you tried. No question is a dumb question, but I think, you know, you may have to figure out a different vehicle or a different way to get things done. But I think it's important to ask and to utilize the network that you have. And, you know, for the people that you came up with, it's important. As you grow, they grow, and you help each other out. That's how, you know, the spirit of camaraderie is very important. And I think that's how, you know, we should be feeling in terms of and fostering the next generation of people coming up in the music business. Each one teach one and help each other out, because literally we're all we got.
Right. But at the same time, everybody doesn't feel that way. And if they don't, find somebody who does. Like, everyone doesn't want to see everyone win. There will be people you're gonna be like, wait a minute, are you literally stepping on my neck right now? Did you just literally take my idea? Did you call someone and tell someone not to hire me? You still there?
Uh-oh.
You Rod.
Marsha, you froze. Marsha.
Okay.
As we're trying to get Marsha back, but I think it's important for you to understand that not everyone is going to necessarily believe in helping you, but that's okay. There's someone in your network who will help you, and utilize that, and you two can help each other. I speak from personal experiences that both of these amazing talented executives have helped me, starting from like intern days to now being successful in the business. It is just important to understand that if you face adversity, that's okay. Move to the next thing. Don't stick in adversity. Move from adversity. Sorry, Marsha, I was just finishing off kind of what you were saying.
Yes, that is the point. Yeah.
So kind of transitioning, because I'm seeing a lot of questions here about what do you look for? What do you look for? How can I work in music? How can I work in music? What do you look for someone that you might potentially hire? And how can that person stand out now, either while in college or graduating from college, to potentially get some kind of role with you?
I think that most of the thing that people take for granted is their internship. And I say that to say that while everyone works really hard to get an internship, the way that they work said internship sometimes isn't reflective of how hard it was to get. Sometimes everybody works really hard to get in that door, and then they get in the internship and they will have spent literally 90 days with us. You will, like in our company, like our interns sit right outside of our office doors. Every morning I see them, every afternoon I see them, every evening I see them. And I have had instances where I didn't even know their names by the time they left. That is not my fault, because that is not my responsibility. It's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
You bust your ass. You're sending paperwork, you're calling people, how can I get in? You're hitting them on Instagram. And then you get in the building and you're sitting at a seat with a computer and your name, and it says Naya Burnley at umusic.com. And the whole 90 days you were sitting there, you never said anything. That's a problem. Once you get that internship, you work there. You work there. You are a part of that business. You have that email address. You have a number. You are a part of that system. It's on you to work that system, to ask questions, to seek out answers, to learn about the organization, to learn about the department you're working in. Some places be more open than others, but it's on you to work it out. Find that person who wants to teach. Find that person who looks like, hey, do you mind? Can I put 15 minutes on your calendar? Can I have 5 minutes to talk to you about? I had a question about that thing that you said. Just consistently having a conversation, putting a name to the face, letting them know that you're here to help. Hey, I have a little bit of downtime in my department. You ask your supervisor, hey, I see that publicity is doing something. I would love to help. Raising that hand and asking for things is that's what I look for. And most of my new hires, especially in our company, are usually current or former interns who did really well when they were there.
same. I think organizations kind of always look to hire people from within. Are you
Hold on, please.
Yeah, we're getting feedback.
I just moved. Maybe it's because I have both my cell phones by the computer. I just moved them.
Oh, you sound so much better now.
That's what it was. Sorry. I think it's important to, like Marsha said, when you're working within these organizations, even as an intern, people are sort of looking, like the senior executives or just people that you work for are looking to see how much initiative you show. Do you have to be asked to do things, or do you just take it upon yourself to sort of do things? Do you pay attention? Do you listen? Do you understand, obviously, the art of confidentiality, and when it's important to speak and when it's not, and when it's important to involve yourself and when it's not. So I think paying attention and reading the room are two really important things. Sometimes, folks just can't do that, and that kind of gets people tripped up a little bit. But I think in any case, you can always ask questions to the folks that you directly report to, but also ask questions amongst your peers. Like, are there any other interns that are working there that may have helpful advice, or that you see that are excelling, that may be able to help you? I think that's important. And Google is your best friend. I think a lot of times kids will just ask questions and just be like, well, what about this or what about that? But it's like, well, did you Google it? Did you do any research? Did you try to find out certain things? So I think utilizing the tools around you for research purposes is very important. And then always figuring out additional plans. I think if someone comes to you and says, if Marsha or myself were to give a task and say, okay, I need X, Y, and Z done, and you have a certain method of getting it done, but for whatever reason on that day that method is not available to you or not able to happen, then what are the alternatives? Like, what is not plan A, but just like plan B, C, and D? Because a lot of what Marsha and I do is also problem solving, everyday troubleshooting, and figuring out ways to maneuver certain things for a positive result. So it's like, how do you sort of go in your bag as an intern or as support staff to help with things?
I think this kind of leads us to a great question from Lauren Thorpe, who's from Spelman College. She asked, what tips can you all give about how to have the boldness to have the difficult conversations? I mean, you both talked upon being upfront and forthright and come up with ideas and present them to people and talk to people, but how do you make that initial step? What is the steps? What are things that you should do?
Prepare. Because what do you call that? Before preparation makes for something, right? Hi, James.
Hi, James. I think you're in the wrong room, James.
Yeah.
Might be. I don't even know if he hears. I think being prepared is going to be important, because it's one thing to ask. Sometimes you run upon someone and say, hey, I was wondering if you have 5 minutes. And the person says, yeah, go ahead. And you're like, oh, right now? Okay. So I think as you're deciding to, what it is.
I think Marsha froze. We're gonna pause right now on her preparedness. So I think coming across, when you are ready to come to someone with a question, make sure you're ready for them to have that answer and to give you the time necessary to meet with them. So always be prepared when you make an ask. And I'm gonna go to Latrice, and we'll go back to Marsha when we get her back.
Okay.
Latrice, what would you say are some of the tips for people to actually do networking or to make a request of you?
Well, I would say first do your research and sort of know about the people that you're approaching before you approach them. So if you know there's a specific role that you want to go to, or feel that you want to just identify where it is approaching and know what it is that you want to show them, what you want to ask of them, what you expect in return, and how they make you utilize you. I think it's very important. Figuring out your approach also important. You get the email. Can you hear me, or am I still echoing?
You're echoing a little bit, but I can hear you. I can.
How about now?
Yes.
I think figuring out your approach. If you have their emails, then sending them an email I think it's cool, but like don't DM them 100 times on Instagram or spam them on social media and their comments. Like check DM or sent you my resume. I think there's a way to be persistent and get your point across without just being completely like overbearing and annoying, and just remembering that, like, people are getting thousands of comments and thousands of these things every single day. And then again, have clear goals, and if you do make contact with the person, of how you want to work with them and how you think it could be of help to you, whether it's for a job or just a mentorship sort of position.
Great. Marsha, you have froze. Did you want to say anything else?
I forgot what I was saying, but be prepared. Yeah, I was saying to be prepared, and know what you're asking for, because sometimes people start to. Are you asking for a contact? Are you asking for a job? Are you asking for a promotion? If you want a promotion, what title do you want? How much money do you want? And why do you think you deserve it? Have your facts in order, because you don't know, because sometimes you may just bump into that person in an elevator. You have literally from the 30th floor to the lobby to get your point across. So and I think that, how do you prepare? You write it down, like exactly what you want. I want this, that, and that. I would like this, that, and that, on how to present it and actually say it out loud. I rehearse, because I know that I need to get my words together. I have to say it out loud a few times. Sometimes I just say it out loud to myself. Sometimes I write it out. Sometimes I say it to my friends or to my loved ones and say, okay, how does this sound? Because, Black girls have a tone. And then, you got to work on your tone. So it's like you try to find ways to rehearse it and think it out. It's not like nothing, none of this is just fly by night. I know we're really if we feel really casual as an industry. It's younger people who look like our friends and cousins and brothers and sisters. We use very casual conversations. But at the end of the day, this is still a business. So when it comes time to talk about this business, it's not time to hail down your supervisor in the hallway and be like, oh, real quick, bro. It's happened before. And it's like, who are you calling bro? Well, how did we get to bro status? So it's like just being prepared, knowing what you want, having the reasons why you want it, what can you bring to the table? This is what I'm asking for. And then just practice before the opportunity comes.
I think this circles back to what both of you said earlier about your networks, right? I think the students should really pay attention to this, is that these are opportunities where you can use each other to make sure you don't sound crazy. Make sure what you're saying is professional. Make sure you have detailed information. Use your network of friends, of people who are close to you to say, hey, I really want to reach out to Miss Burnett at Island Records. Like, do you know more information about Island that I can throw into the email that might seem like I'm really on it? Like, could you give me some insight or things like that? Or look over this email before I send it, because I want to make sure I sound right. So this is the perfect circle back to the previous question about networking. This is an opportunity where you can use your network to make sure that you don't look crazy, sound crazy, or come across as someone who's unprepared. I love that. I think that's great. Can you go back into? I know we kind of jumped forward to the successful part, but can you go back into what was your here? Can you talk about some of the places you've been, some of the things you've done? We just want to give some kind of background for people to understand how long it took to get to this place.
Man, yeah, these, in terms of where we're at in our current positions.
Yes.
Man, like well over. I've been doing this for about 20 years now. I started when I was a teenager. Rockefeller Records was the first label I ever turned at. So it's been a long time coming, and I think one of the things I'm most grateful for is being able to work in a business. And sort of, is Jason still there? Did he disappear? He might have gotten kicked off.
No, I'm here.
To be able to work in a business, to see, sort of just how things have changed and sort of been ever flowing throughout the years, and from CD sales and production to streaming and obviously how much of a huge part of the music business that's become. But it's taken a really, really long time. And like I said before, lots of blood, sweat, and tears. But it's been worth it. Multiple labels I've been at, different jobs, not having a job at one point in time. So you name it, I've been through it.
I mean, I've been doing this probably, maybe Tree started a little bit earlier than me, but I think I'm on year like 15, 16. I came out of college, and by came out of college, I left. I didn't want to go anymore, so I didn't get my degree. I went to SUNY Albany. My friends graduated. I didn't. I said, I'm not staying. I got an internship. First, I was an intern at Def Jam for like a year and a half. And because I was a great intern at Def Jam, my supervisor there came over to Warner Music Group, said, come with me. So I went with him there. And then he got a corporate job, and I didn't want to work corporate. I wanted to work at a label. So I said, hey, can I go work at Atlantic? He was like, sure. Then I worked at Atlantic for maybe about 7 years. And most of that time I started in A&R. So I worked for the head of A&R. So, that experience of learning how to make an album is something I'll have for the rest of my life. So, I could do everything from, book studio time to how to mix and master a record. Then I went into marketing, and then I left Atlantic. Then I went to Epic for 2 years. I was with Latrice at Atlantic, then with Latrice at Epic, then came back to Atlantic, and in Atlantic, came back to Atlantic, was doing marketing again. So it's like, it's been this roller coaster over like the last 15, 16 years.
And that kind of journey ties us to a question that Ebony Turner kind of sent us, and she's from the real HU, Hampton University. She's asking, she has skill sets in more corporate, small business and organizations in marketing and branding. How can she transfer those kind of skills to music marketing?
I mean, I'm not quite sure what the skill set is for corporate and business marketing, but I would assume it has to do with ideating of some sort. Being creative, I would assume. Like at the end of the day, it's still a business. As much fun as it is to, do a photo shoot and be on the set, we still have to communicate. We still have to manage budgets. We still have to, reach out and put pitches together. We still have to put together like what the brand analysis is like. What is this thing? Who is this artist? Like everybody doesn't just hatch and turn into the biggest thing in the world. We have to put this creative together so people understand why this artist matters to them, why they should care, why they should listen, why they should stream, why they should watch, why they should talk to this person. So while yes, it's more creative and our product is a person and a tangible thing, I think that there's still the business part of this that goes into it. You still have to show up to work every day, sit at your computer, answer phones, send emails, and be responsible for a plethora of work that you have to do. So it's like, I don't know if I'm not sure like what her skill set is, because I don't know what goes into that side of it, but a lot of business acumen still comes into our conversation as well.
But would you, I mean, she didn't add there, but I think it's more so around just how do you transfer your skill set? You guys, both of you talked about different positions, different jobs you've had. How are you able to transfer skill sets? I think she's just asking for advice on how to market herself with different skill sets.
I think it's important to give examples of things with whatever the skill set is that you're looking to further pursue or go into within an organization. I think it's important to show examples of some of the things that you've done or ideas trying to go into that skill set, because it's kind of hard to say you have that skill if you haven't really done it yet. So I think it's important to be realistic. Maybe if there's a skill that you're hoping to learn, then you should be admitting of that. But I think just to sort of go in and being like, okay, this is a skill I have because your friends told that to you. There needs to be something more tangible To me, in order for you to go, I think some people have natural God-given talents. There's some people that are just music people through and through that are A&Rs and they have great ears, but then there's more to being an A&R than just the music aspect of it. There's, managing budgets and, reaching out to people and having relationships for features and publishing and clearances and so many other deals getting done and so many other things that go into it. So it's about learning, I think, fully about what the job entails and what the whole craft is and what the skill is before you can pitch yourself or say that, okay, this is my skill.
Can you talk about specifically some of the projects or artists that you've worked with and why you had the most fun? Not necessarily learned the most, but just had the most fun. Yeah, fun, like fun. So what was the? It could be somebody we haven't heard of, or it could be somebody who's really big that you really enjoyed in your career.
Well, I really enjoy
think, okay, all jokes aside, forget the individual artist, right? I think every single artist, just like every person, comes with, its pros and cons. All working with artists and working with talent, what is the most fun is helping them grow and helping them be successful. For a lot of our artists, for a lot of our young men, for a lot of our young women, where they come from and the things that they're dealing with, for some of them, if this thing doesn't happen, they don't see a way out. They don't know how to get to any other place but this way. When, 2 Chainz named his album Rap or Go to the League, that's a very, very real sentiment for a lot of people. So if we're fortunate enough to be working with artists, like, to me, nothing is more amazing than when, you sign the artist, the first time you meet them, they're like, living in a trap house or like living in their mom's, spare bedroom, just doing what they can to just, keep their cell phone on. There's no drip, there's no nothing they're just working. So to see them, whether it's 6 months, 6 years, or however time you met them, seeing that growth, like we've watched.
Latrice, can you jump back in until we get Marsha back? I think she's frozen.
Yes. I think it's important. Well, we were talking about artists that love to work with, that we had fun. I think one of the ones that Marsha had from the very beginning was Sky one, and that was around that Marsha, like the end of trap music, urban legend. So he's probably.
What'd you say?
One of the artists that both working with that we had a lot of fun with was Sky in terms of this project. Yeah. End of track music, like the beginning of urban legend.
Oh, she said, yeah, yes. T.I. was amazing. Like, I worked on the A&R side, Latrice worked on the digital side. We saw him come from the trap, become the biggest artist in the business, catch a federal charge for gun possession, spend 1 year in federal prison, come back out, come back on top of the game, hit records, turn into an actor, turn into a reality TV star, turn into a film producer, and now he's like, America's favorite Black dad. Like, just this person that we know now and that guy back then, although they're very similar, like, he's come from here to here, and being able to be a part of that process with some of these people become our friends is amazing. We've been with them through births, through deaths, through marriage, divorce, buying your mama her first crib, buying their own first crib, getting that first chain, getting that first car, buying the first piece of art, being off of parole, being able to travel out of the country now because now you can get a passport. Just different things that are bigger than, of course, we love number ones. We love hardware. We love trophies. I'm so sorry. I have to take this because this is Julie, but I'm here.
Okay.
But yeah, just to piggyback off what she was saying, for me, there's been a couple that I really enjoyed working with throughout the year. Obviously, that's one of them. B.O.B. being another one of them. Also loved working with recently Future and DJ Khaled. I was Future since his very first album, and just to see the success he's had has been amazing. Same for Travis Scott, DJ Khaled, Yo Gotti. They're all guys that I still keep in touch with, even though I'm no longer at Epic. Just most of the artists that I've worked with throughout the years, to be honest. I think it goes back to what I said about network and always having to reach that, just meet each other, to collaborate together. They're doing various things together, so it just helps be able to pick up the phone and call some of these things. But yeah, I think there's no feeling like seeing your artist, release their very first song or their first album and hit #1, or you walk into a store and see the album on the shelf, and you're like, wow, like I actually played a part in that, getting it, and what the conspiracies. That for me was the coolest feeling. I used to always walk into like Targets and Best Buys and to see like, what the end cap positioning was, and are there CDs left? Are people buying them? Do people care? And I think that's one of the most best feelings, and also seeing how the public receives it. I think there's sometimes different artists who really just deliver an album, and you have to sit and kind of come up with a whole marketing plan, and obviously that's kind of cool. And then there's other artists that come with all their ideas and their marketing plan, and it's how can I help amplify this? How can I surround this with huge champions to help this to the next level? So for me, it's been very rewarding and refreshing, and no day is easy. There's some days, they're artists or they're creative people. They go through things. We all go through things. It's just they go through their things on a very public scale, and the general public and the media always have something to say about it. But I think if you have other artists that stay strong, sort of like power through that, and I think it's up to us to provide a system for them. And like Mark said, wherever with the counselors, the friends, we end up meeting the family members, and the kids, and the wives, and the husbands. And, it's just important to always make sure that they have a support system. They feel like they're being, we're rallying for them, and we're killing for them, and and because their life, and they've given their life to do this, and it really is our life as well.
Oh, I think that's the important part. Sometimes people forget that they're just human and they go through their stuff. And as they're maturing, going through, you're a part of their lives and part of that process. And that's kind of important part. Oh, we lost Marsha for a second there. Just want to point out that Marsha was taking a call from Julie Greenwald, who's the COO and chairman of Atlantic Records. And so, like, we just saw her working in the middle of this seminar and this panel, and that's just like how you're moving through life, right? They're doing this panel, we're working from home, everything is moving and changing. So some things are going to change and things are going to be changing rapidly. So please be aware of that. And I think this takes me to our final question, because it's 3:32 and I know you gave us an hour. I want to get you out of here. Moses Vincent said a lot of internship programs are suspended this year. What are some ways that students who missed out on opportunities this year can still get into the door of the music business?
That's a good question. I think from a label side, kind of hard, because our label requires that the college work obviously for college credit. And it's applied, and there's a whole list of certificates that headed college marketing department and by human resources. But I would say, maybe focusing on, not necessarily labels, maybe focusing on other organizations within music that they actually existing, or figuring out a way for you to sort of folks up, or to keep the dialogue open now, or even maybe pairing up with specific artists in your own markets to work with directly, because a lot of people need interns or things, and maybe that's how folks can be utilized. Hard for us right now because I get the notifications every day. We have internship programs with a lot of HBCUs and also Northeastern, and we're not able to fully utilize that times because of the pandemic. And it's difficult for me. I love interns, and I started as an intern, Marshall, and love able to get back and to sort of help train and teach interns. So I'm looking forward to be able to have interns back in and during or whatever time we actually get back to the office.
Well, I want to thank you for your time. I think we lost Marsha. I mean, everyone saw in the middle of this, she got a call, she's working. But is there one final, understand Marsha, we understand. She just said she's sorry. She's just in the middle of something. But is there any last bit of knowledge or information you would like to give all of these students who are currently living in this new world and trying to figure out how they can position themselves to be a part of music, a part of marketing, and a part of entertainment?
Yeah, I would just say stay hopeful. I know it's a difficult time, and obviously to be in school at this time is not an easy thing to do, and you maybe are back with your family. You know, for those of you that were living on campus are not able to be at the dorms anymore, so that may be difficult. But I think right now, just stay strong, stay hopeful, and I think just continue to work hard and continue to brainstorm, come up with creative ideas, figure out what you can do from your end. Whether it's reaching out to different organizations that are doing in music, ideating, if you can reach artists directly or connecting with whoever you contact with at or other organizations, whether it be Spotify world or SoundCloud, whoever, whatever you're in it, figuring out something you can do with your local media, local radio stations, and how you can get artists involved. Everyone kind of knows what's happening if you it and how you can maybe utilize your network to be a light to people. So I think that would be my bit of advice. Just know this is gonna last forever, and I think we'll come out of it stronger. For now, just to keep the faith and keep pressing.
Sorry about that, guys. My bad.
That's okay. No, we're wrapping up now. Just ask what last kind of words would you leave with the students who are trying to get into music, marketing, entertainment? What do you say to them?
I listen. This thing is hard, but it's not impossible. And I think
Oh, did I lose Latrice? Are you there, or did I lose both of you?
I'm here.
Okay.
Looks like you may have lost Marsha.
Yeah, I think I did. Well, okay, here she comes. I want to make sure she gets her word in.
When you reach out to people, have something to say and make it noteworthy. If you want to work with someone, find out what they're working on and come to them with things that can help make their lives easier or more effective or greater. If you want to design merch for Travis Scott, you better have that merch when you go to his show. You better keep that merch on your fucking book bag everywhere you go, because you never know when you're going to bump into Travis Scott. If you have, some sort of skill set, if you want to be a marketing person, it could be the simplest things. If you're just like, listen, hey, Marsha, I know you work with Cardi B. I have an idea that I would love to share with you. Instead of, hey, check your DMs and hey, I want to work with you. Come with things that will actually get people to bite. Hey, here's a snippet of a song that I wrote. Hey, here's a piece of a beat that I made. Hey, here's this. Here's a merch design. Here, I'm a graphic designer and it looks like that. Hey, I would love to be your assistant. Here are the kinds of things that I know how to do. Maybe I can help you manage that. Maybe I can help you manage this. But it's hard. It's not impossible. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't get down on yourself. Don't give yourself some ridiculous timeline. You'd be surprised on how long it took so many people to get certain places. Don't let Instagram discourage you, because that's not a real place, okay? It's not a real, Instagram is not real. Don't compare yourself to Instagram people. Some people are real, some people are not. Your path and your course are gonna be your own. Don't let your parents discourage you because they don't understand what you want to do and this is not a real job. There are so many obstacles in the world that are gonna come at you. The last thing you need to be is your own obstacle for yourself. Just keep pushing. And if you decide you don't want to do it anymore, that's fine too. It's okay. That doesn't mean you gave up. You can say, you know what, I gave it a shot. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something else. But you always have to just encourage and believe in yourself, and don't let the outside shit like take you down. Because I realized like in this society that happens, we don't even realize it's happening. So that's it. Be well mentally and emotionally. Don't let these people make you crazy.
It's amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you to Cultural Creators for putting this together. Thank you to Microsoft Teams for providing the platform. I am so fortunate to have been able to work with both of you and to learn from you. Thank you for your time today, Latrice and Marcia. Also, for everyone who has joined us, my marketing and PR firm, This Is Dope, is always looking for campus reps, and we have marketing and PR interns available. We do a lot of virtual stuff. I just put the information into the chat, so please reach out to me. There is opportunity. Thank you again. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Oh, on that note, Jason, just so you guys know, as it stands right now, Atlantic is not taking any interns for the summer, unfortunately. And that is going to stand indefinitely for now. But listen, we have a ton of artists, we have a ton of roster of stuff. You know, no, you may not be able to get school credit. Like I said, always feel free to reach out, because we're always looking for, you know, dope young people with great eye, great taste, great contacts, great organizational skills to help, you know, get some ideas off the ground, especially now.
Great.
All right, guys.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks,
Please
Jason.
stay safe. Be well.
Bye, Jay. Thanks, Joy. Bye.
Thank you, Joy.
All right, guys.